Hi everyone, welcome. This is the first of many lecture videos for me. I'm Dr. Christy Rittenauer in this class, Diversity in the Workplace. I am so excited for this course and I wish I could see you, but I suppose I'm excited to be seen. And today what I'm going to do in this very first video is talk to you about the course, relieve some stress, hopefully, reduce your uncertainty about what to expect this semester with me, and how to navigate through the course on eCampus, and talk to you about what you're going to be doing for next week. So, if you are savvy online and followed the same pattern you've used in other classes on WU's eCampus system, you have already seen that this is the first module, and the list of tasks in this first module is to read the syllabus, watch this video, and then post something about yourself. So, you know this already, most likely, but just to be clear, for each of the weeks / modules, I'll use those words interchangeably. For each week / module, there will be a specific list that is both in your syllabus and on eCampus that you pull up the learning module. It will have a title online that's synonymous with what is in your schedule and your syllabus, and it will say 1, 2, 3, sometimes 4, in terms of what you're supposed to do and the order in which I want you to do them. Usually I have you do the reading first. Sometimes I want you to watch the video first or do an activity first, so make sure that you pay close attention to that. But often it's to read and then watch me blab on one of these lectures and then to do an activity. And what will happen is every week I will be posting new material on Monday by midday, and I will alert you when that's up and running. And then you have the week until 11:59, the Sunday preceding the next unit. 11:59 that Sunday, by that time I want you to please complete all of the module, and then we go again the next week. So that's how things will run. Let me know if you have any questions. All right, so what are we going to do here together? Again, if you already read the syllabus, you read a bit about this, but I want to make sure it's clear what exactly we're doing when we talk about diversity in the workplace. The word diversity conjures up a bit of a range of different ideas, what we're going to talk about in this class. When I tell people I'm going to teach this class, they say, oh, okay, so you're going to talk about like different races at work and ethnicities, stuff like that. Well, that's one of the things that we'll talk about. But what we're going to do is we're going to take an intergroup approach to the study of diversity. So what is that? Why? Well, next week we're going to talk about intergroup communication and social identity theory of intergroup communication. We're going to talk about that next week. That's the purpose of that next module. We'll dig in. We'll talk about what it is. Don't worry about that right now. But to give you an understanding of broadly what it is and why we're using it, is I want you to have tools that can be used, whether we're talking about diversity that has to do with race or religion or sexual orientation or political orientation, or my gosh, so many things, as we'll talk about. Anything can be intergroup practically. I want you to be able to understand across contexts. You know, we talk about good theory and research. Theory predicts, explains, and or controls human behavior. And so that we can use intergroup communication and other communication theories, other social psychological theories, all of these things to help us understand across context how human beings think and behave, then that's great. That carries more utility, and you'll probably learn more and be able to apply more at work and beyond. So that's my hope anyway. So an intergroup approach is going to allow us to do that. So with that being said, an intergroup approach looks at diversity in terms of social group membership. So when we talk about human beings behaving to each other in terms of their social group membership, what I mean here is that yes, we're all individuals, and we have, each of us, very unique characteristics, right down to our unique experiences, hopes, dreams, ambitions, right? Of course. But we also are members of social group, broader groupings. And when we interact with other people, we are often thinking of them more as members of various social groups rather than thinking of them as individuals. We like to, I think most of us, a lot of us, think that, gosh, when we interact with people, we're talking about them as unique people. Me, Christy, talking to Keith and Andrea and Martin and Jamal and Sally, all of these different people as individuals. But we don't really do that. We don't really do that. The literature strongly suggests, empirical research strongly suggests, and especially when we first meet people, but also even down to really close relationships, we are thinking about them in terms of what social groups they belong to. So what are some examples of social groups? Well, I already named a couple: race and religion, political orientation, sexual orientation, these broad categories of people. We really like to categorize people. We like to put them into groups so that we can decide how do we want to behave toward them. And so when we do this, when we put people into their social group memberships, we think about them a certain way because of those categories we put them in, those social categories, and then we respond to them accordingly. And an individual could belong to many different social groups, and we could perceive them as belonging to many different social groups. But in different points in our interaction, a different social group sort of pops out at us. And we'll talk about all that later, and I'm speaking very abstractly right now. But intergroup communication and intergroup communication theories are going to allow us to dig in and understand and apply that process, again, to move from context to context. So when we go throughout the semester, you may have certain contexts that really interest you. And sure, there are unique things about, let's say, the context of age, which we'll spend a good bit of time on, young and old, how we treat those individuals differently than something like sexual orientation. There's some different factors to consider, surely. But again, apply these same theories. And so I encourage you to move across different contexts, think about the context you're interested in, apply examples, and move around within those different contexts. Okay, so of course, diversity really means difference, and so that's what we're going to talk about here. And one of the things that we will dig into again more in the next few weeks, but that's important for me to say day one, is that even though we have such great empirical evidence that diversity makes groups, relationships, workplace environments, groups within the workplace and outside of the workplace, it makes them better. It makes them stronger, they grow, and at the end of the day, they have a better product. We know this. We know the diversity, all kinds of diversity, including those that are completely internal, thoughts, ideas, experiences. It makes for better results. So we know that, great, wonderful. But there is incredibly strong evidence to suggest that we as human beings, we don't like difference. We don't crave it. Now, there are exceptions to that. This is not a law. Humans are humans. They're interesting and dynamic and complex. But to start off, I want you to be open to the empirical trend that is so strong that people crave similarity. When we meet other people and we size them up for the social group memberships they have, we are thinking, is this an in-group or an out-group member? In other words, does this person belong to my social group, or do they belong to a different social group? When we perceive someone else as belonging to our same group, again, race, political affiliation, East Coast, West Coast, whatever it may be, the same group, we tend to like them more. And we tend to want to talk to them more, and we tend to perceive what they say more positively. Warm, fuzzy strawberries, gumdrops. When we perceive someone as belonging to a different group, we behave much less favorably. We're more resistant to what they have to say. We don't give them the benefit of the doubt as much. So what an interesting conundrum, right? Difference is so great and good for us, but it also sometimes seems like, no, it's not, because we don't like it. I want to talk to people who are like me. I want to interact with people who are like me. And you know what? When I work with people who are like me, we think alike, we talk alike, we act like we're going to come to something really soon, come to our idea, and it's going to be great. And we may actually perceive less problems because we're so similar. So this is an interesting dynamic, right? And so we're going to talk about that throughout the course of the semester. All right. So enough about the lay of the land. So since I blabbed on about that, it should come as no surprise then why we're choosing this book. It doesn't even have the word diversity in it. Okay, pick this up. I promise you'll use it. Almost every single reading that you'll do for me is in this book. So I promise you'll get your money's worth out of this book. And not all of the assignments are in order. As a matter of fact, most of them are out of order with the book chapters. So make sure you're looking at the modules to see what I assign. So let's talk just a little bit about walking through the syllabus, things that I want you to know, that I want to jump out at you, because you know how syllabi go. There's some stuff in here that you can skim through. Same old, we get it. Okay, so we talked about the course. If you look at your syllabus on page 1, we talked about that. My information, contact me through email. I will absolutely get to your comment or question as soon as I can. And you can do the direct email, or you can contact me through eCampus email. You know, either way gets to me. And then you can also call me at the office and leave me a message. If you're going to do both, because you really want to talk to me, it's okay. You can do both. I understand that, call and email. But if, let's say, you email me and then you're like, I'm just going to call in case she's not an email right now, but she's in her office, go ahead and call me. If you leave me a message, that's great. But perhaps mention, or would like you to mention, that you also email me. It streamlines things, and I want to be really efficient responding to you and all my other students, et cetera, et cetera. Also, I want you to know that as a social scientist, it's really important to me that students are spending time with each of their parts of their life. And I know that you're really busy people and that you're not always on your computer. And I think that's great and healthy. You're with your families, with your friends, or just sleeping or doing your thing. And so, like you, I try and have healthy relationships with my family members and the other people in my life that need me and that I need them. So give me 24 hours, please. And if you don't hear from me within 24 hours, then absolutely reach out to me again, because something probably went wrong if I didn't get back to you within 24 hours. Maybe your message never got to me, and I don't mean to keep you waiting like that. Okay, enough about that. But yeah, you can email me or call me, whatever suits you. For course policies, so a lot of these, again, online course, yeah, you're online right now, you know. As you flip through, I just want to, on page 2, I want to point out some things to you. If you have questions about things like plagiarism and cheating, I certainly won't think you're cheating and you want to cheat if you ask me a question about it. I also get nervous about things, and I like to reach out sometimes to say things like, this is exactly what I'm doing. That's okay, right? Because these are my thoughts and ideas, and that will make you feel better proceeding, and that will make me feel great that we don't have ambiguity and all that stuff here. So let me know if you have a question, okay? Social justice, obviously, in a class like this is a little bit different, right? I mean, different in the sense that I hope all your instructors take social justice very seriously, but being just is a difficult task, I think. Especially knowing what I know about how human beings treat each other. And, you know, on the one hand, I want students to be really open and honest. For instance, I'm going to have you take some tests in here about your own attitudes about different groups. And when you get your score, you might be like, this is crazy, this is stupid, I don't think this way. And I want you to be able to tell me that openly and get in there. And that's okay in that context. But you might also be tempted to say things like, you're stupid for even asking us to give that. Well, rein it in a bit. Let's rein it in a bit with each other. So it's hard. I want you to be open. I want you to be honest, but so that we can grow and learn from each other. But we have to be careful, right, in how we treat each other, and we have to be kind with how we treat each other. And we may make mistakes. You might find that this course material puts you in a very vulnerable position where things that you've thought about other individuals and groups of people, and things that you have thought about yourself and how you think about and treat other people, you thought them your whole life, and they seem to be a truth with a capital T to you. And now in this class, you get empirical evidence to strongly suggest, or even remotely suggest, that maybe those truths haven't been so true. That can be difficult. That can be incredibly difficult for us as human beings. And so let's just be patient with each other and work on it and be open, growing together. We'll do our best. Okay. Copyright, yeah. This is all from my course. Page 3. If you have, if you're differently abled in any way, number 8, please let me know. I want to work with you. I want to be accommodating and helpful. We are a vet-friendly department, FYI, so keep that in mind. And the rubric that you have there, I will follow that to a T. I want you to know precisely what you need in order to get whatever you need. I say need in quote because maybe just what you want or what you know you're capable of, et cetera, et cetera. So there you go. And with the exception of the weekly assignments, I have very specific descriptions of the assignment and rubrics for you that are posted and that we'll talk about in greater detail as they come closer in the semester. So I want to be transparent. That's my aim. So the weekly assignments, I said I'm not so detailed in those. Each week, let me get I have mine posted up on my bulletin board. You might too. You are going to have in your module, you are going to have your description, the list week 1, the date that module begins, and then the topic. So this is January 11th. We're doing the introduction to the course, and it says go ahead, read your syllabus, you're watching it, the video, and then create your introduction post. So that's what I want you to do today, and we'll talk about the post in a minute. But then for most of these weeks, the last thing that you'll do is this group, this activity, which the next one that you'll do for next week is called your group identities. You'll see it online. It'll be right there. You click on it, you download it, and then you save, and I'll have this all written. You save it with your own name and the file name, and there's also a spot for you to write your name within the Word document. You upload that to me by the end of the week. Anyway, for these assignments, I don't have specific rubrics for those. They're 10 points. And even though instructors can't grade effort per se, that's not something that you can do when you evaluate someone's work. You're evaluating the work, not their effort. The fact of the matter is, these assignments are geared toward helping you to understand the material and to share that understanding with each other and to get a deeper meaning from everything, so that then when you do the assignments and go about life, you're better equipped. So when you proceed through the module, if you are diligent and you are attentive and you go back over things you don't understand, you ask questions about things that you don't understand so that you're sure you get them. You do all those things before you sit down, and then you take the time and do that activity. You do it thoroughly and you check over it and it's clean. Then submit it and you will be successful. You will be successful. And if what I've said isn't true for you, then let's talk very early in the semester so that those assignments are doing for you what they're supposed to do. Okay? Again, we want to be transparent. We want clarity. We want, if you have a problem or concern, let's get to it early. Okay? All right, so that's true for weekly assignments, but then these other things I want you to do. Application papers, I want you to do 2 of those. They're each 75 points each. Again, I have posted the assignment and the rubric, showing exactly how I'm going to grade it, and you can sort of grade it for yourself before you turn it in and think about how I might grade and tweak or ask questions. For the application papers, so again, you're going to have 2 of those, just like it sounds. You're going to apply your work experiences to the course material. And I give you a brief description on page 4 about what those are like. You can read the more detailed description on eCampus too. But what I'm going to do is, for that particular week, which is week 6, which begins February 15th, that week is dedicated to that assignment. You won't have a different reading to do. You will read over the assignment. I will talk to you about it through a lecture like this, and I'll even help you come up with strategies for how you might, different options for how you might complete that paper successfully. And then that's what you'll work on that week and turn it in at the end of the week. That's what the whole week is dedicated to. That's 75 points, and then you do one later in the semester as well. And that week, since I've already taught you about the application papers, so there's something I've noticed that, I might mention it again, but I'll talk to you about the final project, which is your workplace diversity plan. And with this project, which is worth 100 points, you're only going to do one of those, you will, like it says, you'll come up with a plan for a workplace, past, present, or future, a way, a strategy that you have that a workplace could implement to use diversity in a way that will improve the organization and its members' quality and all of those things. So again, we'll talk specifically about it. as we move throughout the semester. Whew, so that's the lay of the land. For this week, what I want you to do is let me know what questions you might have, and also please post on the discussion board an introduction to yourself. I have listed things that I would like for you to include about yourself, and these are really just so that we have something to go on. You have some ideas, but don't be constrained by them. If something else you want to let us know, please do so. If you want to, put a video like this, you talking to the camera of yourself, then I welcome that too. But since some people can, it's tricky and yada, 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 and you might be doing this in all hours of the night and you don't want to be on video, I get it. Go ahead and just post to the discussion board. That will be lovely, and I cannot wait to learn more about you through those posts and throughout the course of the semester. Welcome. See you soon.